Welcome, hello, thank you so much for tapping in, turning on, tuning in with me, Enchantress, the Babbler, on our revolutionary rise of a high that is happening here at this moment in time. And so I just finished teaching at one of the locations that I teach at, and I figured, why not? Let me do one of these car rides. So I finally hooked up my thing to the car, and it's crazy because now I'm like, all this time that I've been wanting to car ride record, like if you go back to like 5, 6, 7 years ago to my videos and stuff like that, you'll see that I used to do a lot of car ride babbles and stuff. So I'm kind of feeling that, or whatever the case may be, because, you know, trans channeler kind of be me. And so when we get onto this evolutionary spree, a lot of things want to channel through, and a lot of the times if you don't notice yourself when you're driving and stuff like that, a lot of conversation, whether it be with your own divine shrine, your guides, whatever it is that you want to associate your communications with, or just, you know, the universe and stuff like that, happens during your rides, or epiphanies and just articulations and all these other kind of things. So we're gonna see how this goes. It's pouring out. Yeah, there's flash flood warnings everywhere, so I'm gonna be careful while driving, obviously, so if I'm not looking at the cameras because I'm driving, you know what I'm saying? And so with that in mind, right now we're gonna go on my smoothie run because I don't feel like making a smoothie myself today. And so yeah, so we're gonna do that. I have the camera too, but I still, you know, even if you have the reverse camera, like I feel like you should still look. You know what I mean? Sometimes, you know, for whatever reason, the reverse camera can be blocked or something, or like you just don't see something. You know what I mean? So I like to look, even though I have the reverse camera. That's just me. Maybe it's old school, like, you know, before there was ever reverse cameras and stuff like that. But yeah, so come on a smoothie run with me. I'm not advertising anything here. So, because I have to wear my shirts when I teach, you know, for yoga and stuff like that. And so I'm just being myself. I don't want to have to limit kind of like what I'm saying or anything like that, or have one affiliated with the other, because my YouTube channel is just my YouTube channel, you know what I mean? It was here before I even ever started working for this company. So, hello, welcome on this rainy day, right? Be safe out there, stay dry, yeah, stay dry. I have to turn on, open this a little bit. So I'm gonna put the air conditioner on, makes it clear the thing, then I freeze my seat warmers on. I should have set up the car before I drove off. So bear with me here. Can't see. Yeah. So the holidays are coming up, and ever since like I really got into my own like spirituality, my own evolution, like even though it's been a lifelong process and stuff like that, I used to find myself like for years like going over the top for like the holidays and all this other kind of stuff. This last couple of years, although I still give and participate in some kind of way or whatever, because it's tradition and condition and all this other kind of stuff, my mindset about it is completely like it's different now, and it's soothing, because before I used to get like chaotic and have to do all these things to keep up with the Joneses in some kind of way, like whatever that means. What the fudge? Why is it like this? Yeah, my phone is like, I should have turned off the Wi-Fi. But it's different now. Like, it's not so much like I don't try 222, I see 2202, so 2202, 246, right? About the spirit of giving and receiving 2, right? 2, 4, and then 4 with your foundations, and 2 and the unity within you as well, and stuff like that. 2121 that you're seeing, right? So that's 33 master number, you know what I mean? Which is 6 again, so double 66, right? Anyways, just whatever. I just feel like, you know, when you get into the evolution of the revolution of everything that is and everything that is important and everything that matters, like this kind of humane, mundane kind of conditioning doesn't really fly anymore. You know what I mean? 333, 333, 369, 369, Nikola Tesla, my spirit uncle at this time, right? So when you really get into the groove of this alignment, this alchemy, like what are these things except like, I just feel like oh, Mercury's retrograde, right? This is why I'm like fully short on my words here. But I was gonna go to visit my crows, and because when I'm in this particular area when I teach, I have different areas of animals that I visit and see, but over here it's the seagulls and the crows. Even though I have crows by me and stuff like that, but there's a particular little what is it called, like a marina, like a pond or something. I don't know what it is, but anyways, they all be there, and like I have it on footage, you can see and stuff like that. Anyways, I was gonna go visit them and record a little bit and stuff like that, but it's 77777 4 7s, right? 28, 8, 9, 10, 10 for you, the individual too, like, you know, and just coming into alignment with yourself. Like, anyways, let me stop with these damn numbers. Because that's life, right? Especially for those of you tapped in, turned on, tuned in. Numbers be life now, right? Because it's a frequency, it's an energy, frequency, vibration. Anyways, but about the holidays, it's not the same. It's not the same. I used to stress myself out about stuff, and now if I get to it, I get to it. If I don't, even though I get to it still, but it's just different. It's so different. Even though I still, like, you know, I like to pamper those that I love. I like to, I'm a giver. So the giver in me loves to give. Like, I just can't imagine not giving to those that I love. Like, so any opportunity for me to do that, I will. Like, you know what I mean? Even though we have every day, and every day I do. I'm a giver on a regular day. It doesn't have to, wow, look at that car. I don't have to give just because it's the holidays. I give throughout the year and stuff like that. That's just who I am. Like, I've always been that way. Like, especially if I love you and I'm back for you and all this other kind of stuff. So, like, you know, it's important. But I just feel like, you know, I just feel like it's a mass profit conditioning to get people to spend money unnecessarily. And a lot of people be spending money that they don't have. Like, you know what I mean? You gotta be wise and arrive. You gotta be hip with that dip, and, you know, don't fall short of your own glory trying to, like, be something that you don't need to be. You know what I mean? Especially if you are, like, I feel so content with the amount of gift giving that I do throughout the year that if I don't give you something on Christmas, but I will, you know what I'm saying? I don't feel bad anymore. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like this change. I don't know, maybe you feel the same way. Like, it's not the same anymore. And I had to go through, oh shit, what is going on here? I'm gonna start this again. Hold on. I'm back. Anyways, what was I gonna say? Yeah, my Wi-Fi went wonky. I should have turned it off because this weather and Mercury and all this other kind of stuff, they just kept it full. But maybe I had to go, that's what I'm saying. I had to go through a year or two where I didn't celebrate. I personally didn't celebrate. Like, you know, aside from, like, you know, my daughter and stuff like that. Like, I had to really align and alchemize myself with what is my truth, what works for me, what doesn't work for me. And so I had this year or two that I was like, I don't celebrate, what is this celebrating kind of stuff? Like, you know, and I feel like a lot of people in the spiritual community go through those moments where they banish everything, right? People, places, things, and certain kind of conditions and holidays. Like, nah, that's not for me. I don't do that anymore, and all this other kind of stuff. And you do it with like, kind of like with this negativity too attached to it, because you're trying to figure it out for yourself. And so I went through that. I had that purge. It's like a purge, right? For your upsurge. Like, when you look at it, and you want to look at it like that, it's your purge for your upsurge. Because once you come into that alchemy and alignment, then you can figure out the truth for yourself and what that's going to be. So when I started to come back into the reality, this 3D mundane reality and stuff like that, and I started celebrating again, I found my truth in my celebration. And so, like, and my truth and my celebration is I like to be around those that I love, and why not, you know, we get so caught up. Like, this year flew by. Like, this freaking year, every year is flying by. Like, time is freaking flying. You know what I mean? Especially they can be so busy and all this other kind of stuff. Well, I be so busy and life happens and all this kind of stuff. We don't really get to spend time with the people that we love the way that we would like to. Like, you know, and sometimes too, like, you're purging family and all this other kind of stuff. So it was like, all right, let's use this opportunity of time, because you're not casting them out completely, but let me just gather together at this moment to celebrate and to be with one another. Like, you know, so I found purpose. So once you find your purpose of why you do what you do, when you do, how you do, when you make your moves, like, that's, I think that's important. I think it's important to know why you do what you do when you do. If you're doing it just to keep up with the Joneses, if you're doing it just to like, you know, like, if I tell my family I'm not gonna see them this year, let's say for the holidays and stuff, I don't feel bad no more. Before, I used to force myself. It was a force. Like, oh my gosh, I gotta, like, go and do this kind of stuff or whatever. But once you find your purpose, and once you find your reason, and once you find your truth, I feel like that changes. That's a whole power dynamic, a quantum power dynamic of a shift. But I think you sometimes have to go through that, like, that breaking down of the condition. You have to go through that breaking down of why do I do this? What is it for me? What is the purpose of this? Why am I moving this way? Why am I doing all of this? Like, you know, and I think once you find your truth, and once you find your wisdom in that truth, like, that's it. You stand 10 toes deep down in it, and nobody's gonna, and even if they try to test you on it, or try to like, oh, but why? Like, how can you, like, when people started to try to make me feel bad about certain kind of things, because I was standing in my truth, you can't break me down. I'm in my truth. When I wasn't in my alchemy, because I'm trying to people please or accommodate or do something that I feel like I'm supposed to be doing, and all this other kind of stuff, but it goes against my spirit, like, you know, that type of shit, like, where it doesn't feel right for me. What the fuck? I'm gonna have to pause this again because, like, whatever. Either way, let me just finish this message so that I can turn on my GPS, because I don't even know where the hell I'm going right now. but I don't know where I'm going. But either way, so just knowing your truth, knowing your position, I feel like that's important. And I think we should all know our positions. And so once you know your position, nobody can tell you shit. You know what I'm saying? And if they try to tell you shit, you're in your position. And because you're in your position, you're in your power. And because you're in your power, you're in your empowerment. And so anybody that doesn't respect your position, your empowerment, your truth, then that's a clear sign for you about what it is and what kind of boundary you have to set into space, into that place, where position they're going to be placed into that space of your own existence and your own life and stuff like that. So either way, I just feel like, you know, this might be a tricky time for a lot of people too, especially in the new wave age space of spiritual community where everybody's like coming undone. Like there's a lot of us that have done this, right? And so here we are speaking our truths and our wisdoms from what we have learned. So do what you have to do in order to get into that alchemy of space for yourself, because nobody is going to do for you that which you can do for yourself. So anyway, that's my message. That's what I got for this time being. It's only that much. I gotta fix this and it's
2,000 years later.
Stop my smoothie. So, when I'm parking, reversing, when I'm doing all of this kind of stuff, I don't like to have my seatbelt on. I feel restricted. You see what I'm doing. So I can actually turn back on the recording because I know where I'm going now. So, we were talking about the holidays, whatever the case may be. But let's see what comes up on this right now. Anyway, I thank you all for being here. Car ride babbles. It's so crazy though too. I think because I don't believe on no damn planet and shit like that, because that's conditioned into us too. Like, you know, take everything that we know on this earth as conditioning, because nobody knows. You know what I mean? We're just learning people's educated guesstimates that have evolutionized over time. And yeah, some things can make sense, but nothing is freaking absolute. You know what I mean? Like, we can say things are absolute, and that's because we want to look at things in a fixed kind of way, but nothing in this world is absolute. Everything is multi-dimensional, dimensional, changing, evolutionary, infinite, beyond, and there's just so much to life that we don't know. And so to stay fixed on one particular thing, or to believe one thing, it's really to like just trap yourself in some kind of way. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I think evolution is evolution, and that in itself says a lot. You know, it says exactly what that means is that there's room for growth, there's room for transformation, there's room for change, there's room for, that was my car but newer. I was like, oh, the newer one. So that was the other. This is yeah, whatever. Anyways, I think, or that was the bigger one. I think that was bigger. I think that one was bigger. That's why I lived there. But yeah, so I just think that, you know, there's so much to life, to live and explore, you know, because there's so much more and stuff like that. And I think we should achieve ourselves in holding on too tightly to one resonance, because then you're free to take up residence on a resonance. You see the two different spellings? Resonance and resonance. That's a choice. It doesn't mean that there isn't a different resonance, a different dimension, a different multi-dimension, a different space to occupy. You know, and some people want to stay in one particular space because that's where they feel comfortable, and that's where they are conditioned. That's where they think they believe, you know? And you gotta let sometimes people just be where they are and respect them in their space, as long as they're not coming into your face trying to make you into, like, you know, whatever, but still, like, you know. Although I'm evolutionary and I love to help other people, I it's taken me a long time to leave people exactly where they are without trying. I don't really try to convince anybody anything. You believe as you want to believe. I'm not going to sit here and argue with you why you should see something in the light that I see it in, because maybe you're not there. You know what I mean? And so I think you find a lot of peace. We find a lot of peace in life when you allow that to be. Like, a lot of people want others, like, you know, they go on this crusade, like, join me, and then get disappointed if people are not joining or people are not adhering to that which the path that they're on, and then you want to call them names or want to judge them too. Like, you know, I'm not here to judge people, but yeah, we do. You know what I mean? Like, I can't say I never judge. I don't like to, but I'll make an assessment, and my assessment for that dimension that I'm coming into that reality of truth in be 1,000%, and I'm going to trust my assessment with discernment to allow me to see what I need to see and operate in, you know, so coming into those places for ourselves and being empowered by that place that we work to get to, you know what I mean? Like, it took a long time for me to trust my discernment. It took a lot of smacks in the faces, right? A lot of kicks up the ass to really be like, damn, I should have listened to myself. Damn, I should have trusted what I knew. Damn, I should have just, like, I should have, like, God showed me, you know what I mean? And so, like, I should have just knew. So when you know better, you do better. And so that's all we can ever do. When we know better, we do better. And so, you know, don't be so pressed when others are not on the same path as you, because they're an individual. They're not supposed to be on the same path as you. But bask in joy when you do meet people that are resonating with you. Because even those that resonate with you are not on the fucking path that you're on, so don't get it twisted. Because then you're leaving yourself open for massive disappointment when they switch up. And then you're like, oh, they switched up on me. Nah, they're an individual. They are on their own path. They just resonated for a bit. You know what I mean? And stuff. And so it's the same thing like with these holidays. Like, maybe once upon a time you celebrated it differently, and now you're finding your new way of celebrating. And so that might come with you choosing not to celebrate until you figure out what you want to do and how it makes you feel, and, you know, things like that. Like now, like whether I go see my family or not on the holidays, me and my daughter, you know, and those that we choose, like, you know, to be around, that's my holiday. That's my special moment. You know what I mean? And it doesn't feel the same as before, which before it was like forced. I'm no longer forced to comply. Right? So I do what I want to do, how I want to do it, when I want to do it. And if I'm doing it in the conditioned way, the tradition way, that's because I choose that. Not because I have to. It's because I'm living my life purposefully, and I found reason to. And it aligns with my path. But if it didn't align with my path, like there was like Thanksgiving that I decided not to be with my family. Just me and my daughter. And you know, a few chosen others. And that was a Thanksgiving for me that was bliss. It was perfect. It's what I needed. You know, sometimes we need to take ourselves out to see where we need to put ourselves in. You know, and it's not always going to be the same. And every year doesn't have to be the same. You know, sometimes, you know, that's like with family. Like every year is supposed to come without us on the holidays, and now you're feeling a certain type of different way. And so you force yourself to comply. And you don't feel right inside unless you're divine. And so you're not doing that no more. We don't do that no more. I don't fuck around with my divinity. If you don't feel right to me, don't feel right to me. If you don't understand that, go fucking well. Right? And that's the story we need to tell, to stand 10 toes down in our truth. That's our power, that's our empowerment. And if you can't understand it, you can't respect that, and I'll see you when I see you, and we can make plans on our own, whatever the case may be. Like, you know what I mean? Even certain kind of things, like meeting with certain type of people, like, you know, things that you typically go and do, like be around certain type of folks that mean something to you, love them and stuff like that, but the environment that they be in is not conducive to you where you are right now. And so you don't want to put yourself in those type of environments anymore. I had to make certain hard decisions, like how even this year. I was like, I can't force myself to be somewhere that my spirit's telling me, no, you don't need to be there. Send your love from afar. You know? And that's what I do. That's what I do. Bow out gracefully, like, you know, I can't. You don't have to get all into it. You don't have to diss them. You don't have to be like, oh, you know, it's your attitude, it's your energy, it's the people you're around you. Like, you know, you don't have to say any of that shit. You don't have to hurt people's feelings. You don't have to, like, explain yourself. You know, I can't. I'm busy. Can't do it. or whatever you say. It's not a lie. I can't understand. If someone can't respect and love you enough to understand that, you know what I mean? Like, what are you supposed to do? You know what I mean? Anyways, that's it. That's what I have. Thank you for coming and get a smoothie with me. Bye. Yeah, make sure to like this, comment, share with me what you're doing for the holidays, or how your own spiritual evolution has changed the holidays for you. Has changed for you, and how you're maneuvering, and how you're like aligning with your alchemy, and then if you need any points and tips and tricks of how to talk about it, go about it, be about it with little to no conflict as can be, then that's where this conversation can grow. You know what I mean? Because that's what I'm here for. You know what I mean? To babble and to offer advice and wisdom and what is this card doing? And guys, to the best of my ability if I can, but whatever the case is. Like, not everything has to be tarot cards and channeling and stuff like that. It's real human engagement where people here figuring it out together. You know what I mean? And so that's the best that we can do for one another. Like, each one reach one, teach one. Right? I'm not trying to be bigger or better than anybody, but if I can help you, I will. And so yeah. So if you have any questions on how to navigate, you're like, oh my gosh, God, you know what? I'm having a hard time. I don't want to be with my family this year, and I don't know how to go